Sup? Alliance War, Season 55, War 6, for Loki is facing our good friends, I don't know, GT40. These guys are awesome. They're great. Andy went over there for a few seasons to collect some War Season trophies, and now Andy's back, which we are all super thankful for because we love him. My mini account is even named after him. Anyway, this particular war, we're going to be bringing the rank 4 Miguel and the Chi, and it's an interesting one. We had some in real life stuff happen, and so we had to change our plans a little on. But here I am boosting up for GT40, and I'm going to just at the beginning use just medium boosts for me, but I am going to be throwing on power backs, and that's a big topic of the community right now because Kabam has changed how power back boosts are going to be working with this new update, and some people are really upset about it. And I got to be honest, I'm not one of them. Power backs were extremely powerful, especially as the game evolved over time, and champions like Corvus and Ghost and Magic really began to just dominate war maps. I mean, they would clear maps in like 15-second fights with the power back boosts. And it has also prevented, I know from speaking to, Kabam employees, it has affected which champs have been released to 7 stars. It's affected how they design content and nodes. And so simply changing how power backs work should open up a lot more design space, and it should allow us to be able to get a 6-star Magic, right? Maybe we get, some of those really OP champs to 7 stars now that are fun to play, that were just really not usable at the top level of the game as we've gone from 6 stars to 7 stars. So I'm happy with the change, and I'm going to look forward to the challenges that it'll bring in terms of how we plan wars, right? A guy who doesn't really need power back boosts is Miguel. And a girl who doesn't really need power back boosts is Chi. And some champs will benefit from that change. Like Symbiote Supreme, one of my favorite characters, he will benefit from the nerfing of the power back boosts in terms of his ideal cycle, because he won't be kicked up to special 3s as much. That also kind of low-key helps CGR. CGR is a champ that relies on power backs a lot for his war playstyle, but with power backs not taking as much damage, you don't have to worry about hitting a special 2 and then being immediately to special 3. It'll allow you to chain those fights and play those fights a little bit cleaner. So I do like the change. Here we have Chi fighting Atuma. I talked about this particular fight and why Chi works so well for me between her grit, between her bleeds, and between her kit, as to how she answers Sadist. So you can just look earlier in the season if you want to know why this works so well, or you can just look the fact that I crushed that fight. Now we're going into Section 2, Path 6. I just sort of took this section because it's one that I could easily Miguel. This is a Nova. This is not really a much of a threat. A little unintentional intercept there, but I didn't take away his fury for some reason. I don't know. Yeah, I had popped on an Invul for this fight. I didn't really need one, but I'm glad I did because, that 5-hit combo, even with the Invul, took 20% of my health, which is just rude. It shouldn't have been that much because, again, he shouldn't have had that fury because I got the clean intercept. But whatever. It's, as Andy would say, it's chill, whatever. It's a vibe. We move on. And Miguel will be fine. He'll just, settle down. Here's a special 2 that's going to make this Nova pretty much close to dead. All we need to do is Dex and SP1, and the fight's over. All right. Now we got a Punisher 2099. I kicked the Invul in before the last fight. I really wanted it for this fight because I think the ideal strategy here is just to push him red, tank the special 3, and, move on. I ended up actually not really needing to do it. Oh, by the way, this is Tommy Patel, a.k.a. T. Jarvis, one of my good friends in this game. I know he's been frustrated of his late, but much love to that guy. And who knows? Maybe one day I'll convince him to join for Loki. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I'm just going to push him up to special 3. But man, those ruptures are just taking off big chunks of damage. We'll go ahead and hit him with the special 2, and it kills him. So we push him red, but we never even have to tank the special 3. I'll take it. This fight here is a very basic fight. It's just a spam SP1s. We'll heal up Chi a little bit. And I actually healed up in the pre-fight menu. And I think that's a mistake, which is why I'm showing it. I would recommend, and what I tell people to recommend, another TJ defender gets roasted by me. Nice. What I recommend is that if you're going to heal, do so out of the pre-fight menu, just because when people have disconnected or otherwise had problems with their fights, a lot of times they report it's because they put on a boost or they did something in the pre-fight menu. And so I think this, without knowing exactly what's causing these bugs, the safest thing to do obviously is to heal before or back out and then heal, and not do what I just did. But this was a few wars ago before we sort of came to that hypothesis. So, but we'll at least talk about it here and spread it out among my limited viewership. But this is all just like lead up to the fun stuff, because this is the fun stuff. Lags is supposed to take this fight with his Onslaught, but Lags is out having a good time with his girlfriend, and in real life stuff came up for me, and I needed to go ahead and do this fight. And I have thought about using Miguel against Bullseye ever since Bullseye was introduced. Because what I like to do is I like to, when new champs come out, can I Miguel them, right? That's pretty much the extent of my learning at this stage of MCOC. And I identified early on this was one I could Miguel if I ever needed to. And I talked about it with the other officers for Loki, and we discussed the plan. We were able to test the plan, and it worked. And so I was given the green light, and I thank everybody for having the faith in me to pull this shit off, because I'm not going to lie, I pull this shit off. Lags already mentioned it in his video from this war. So, what is the strategy? I'm just going to Miguel him. I'm just going to keep the ruptures on, and I'm going to let the explosions and the DOT do their thing, and that'll be enough. And I'm going to take some damage from chip damage from just blocking all these. I think an even better player would come out of this fight near full health. Like if you're like, nah, right? And you can dex all of the SB1, then you're going to come out of this fight at nearly full health with Miguel. I'll take a little free willpower healing from the falter. There's the obligatory hits to the face to lose the invul. We all knew that was going to come eventually, right? There we go. That's the solo. That was the plan, and it worked. I wouldn't do it against a boss, and I wouldn't assign it if I have any other option, but in a pinch, I can do it. Next up, we got another problem defender during Decay, the reworked Sentinel that has bedeviled so many different people on various placements. You've seen him on 5, 14, 33, 38, and now we're seeing this lovely bastard here on 49. The reason for the placement here, obviously, is that Sentinel has the immunities to bleed, has the immunities to poison, armor break, armor shatter, all that stuff. So your options for DOT affects him are fairly limited to shocks, ruptures, and incinerates. And then you're trying to find a tactic champ that does one of those things, and it gets a little bit more difficult. So I said I would just do it with Miguel. And the key here is just not playing it normal Miguel style, you know, whereupon you rely upon the ruptures to do the damage. Here, I'm just doing it on raw basic damage from Miguel. The Wither is good just because it increases Miguel's combat power rate. And so I'm able to cycle through my specials faster on a non-49 node. Here, I'm only getting power from the fact that I have the ruptures, but you catch my drift. And goodbye, Sentinel. And for my final fight this war, because there's only really one fight left that I could do, I'm going to go ahead and take this Onslaught boss. It was not the original assignment. The original assignment was going to be Matt with a champion like Jack or something like that. I don't even remember who I had originally assigned. But Matt just said, hey, man, look, if you're already going to be boosted to the max because you're doing the Bullseye and the Sentinel, why don't you just go ahead and do the Onslaught as well? And I said, sure, because, you know, I don't fear Onslaught. After everybody kind of learned how to dex his SP1 with that various pain challenge that we had involving him, then this fight is pretty cake for Miguel. Any tactic champ could have done it, because that's going to obviously decrease the neuros, and it's just simply, you know, baiting special ones is how to do the fight. So pretty easy fight for Miguel. Pretty easy fight really for anyone here. This is not the node where I think Onslaught is the most challenging, but I get why he's placed here, just because he is a dick. But fortunately, Miguel is going to persevere. So yeah, great showcase for Miguel, doing some really cool fights. We lost this war to GT40. They're a great alliance. They're huge favorites. But yeah, I think we performed well, and I did get to show that Miguel is a god. Of course, I'm going to have a typo because, as any member of 4Loki will tell you, I cannot type. See you in the next life, Jack.